You can't predict how an identity is going to survive over 20 years. There's no way you can predict what the technology is going to be or whether the thing functions in it even. Identity comes out and you've changed something that a corporation had, it's very shocking, and usually people are reactionary. Then they get used to it, and they get used to it over a faster and faster period of time, but the initial reaction can be terrible. You have to prepare your clients for that. There are many terrific women art directors of fashion publications because it was girly, you know, it's fashion. It's like you hear about famous editors and they came out of Harper's Bazaar or Vogue. It made me know that a woman could have a head job, that you didn't always have to be an assistant. I saw them do it. Because I started in the record industry and then started my own business right after, I moved around in places that had an equivalent amount of men. What was true probably in the 80s was that I had more individual fame than my pentagram partners, who were all men, but they made much more money than I did. Joining Pentagram equalized me so that the idea of a woman handling a major corporate account would seem less bizarre. Originally, I was terrified of type. I didn't understand it, and I thought that the way they taught it at Tyler, which initially was sort of the Swiss modernist system, Helvetica on a grid, I thought it was a lot like keeping your room neat, like the organization was really the whole goal of the project. And I was much more inclined towards illustration. My teacher, a Polish illustrator named Stanislaw Zagorski, said, "Illustrate with type." And I began to realize that type had form and that type could be expressive. The public theater enabled me to do everything. It was a visual language for a place that I still design. It was a real wonderful way to learn. I learned what branding is really there. I did Bring in the Noise, Bring in the Funk, and it was this enormous hit that I could not have anticipated. And then the work was so popular, it became a popular style. Everybody copied it. And of course, the public theater made me an environmental graphic designer. The first time I did any work in environmental graphic design was on their first lobby. And I began to learn to work with architects and learned how to design environments. During the day, I'm mostly directing. My team is on computers. Every now and then we print something out and I touch a tactile thing. To go to the country for 3 days and to do my painting work, which is very laborious and very slow, is a complete different way of behaving in terms of the way I behave all week, which is very social, very active, moving around all the time. It's a wonderful balance. I couldn't do either all the time. Initially, teaching was very important to me because it helped me by explaining to students why something worked or didn't work. It taught me how to explain things to my clients. In order to give them the appropriate crit for the work, I had to put myself into their eyes. That's incredible because you've borrowed their eyes. So it means you see things differently and it broadens what you see. And that's what's great about teaching. It's what you learn from your students, not what you give them. Make sure that your first job is with somebody who you respect, where you like their work and you can learn from them. What you don't want to do is work at a place where you're making something bad and learn bad habits. And you don't want to take a job purely for the money. You really need to learn your craft. And you need to be in a place where there's the opportunity to work on something that's going to be reasonably good.